At the top, I want to say we didn't steal this location. That would have been very dangerous and very risky. So we had a permit, and this was filmed in 2021 during the pandemic. You can see the mask on the Statue of Liberty back here on this vaccine poster. And they say don't film on the subway, but I don't know, maybe just don't film on MTA property in general. Uh, the MTA gave me a very steep discount on this location, but I begged for it. And even with that discount, the location and insurance were 80% of our budget. Um, and we had steak and salmon for dinner, so you can guess how much that was. Um, but the MTA made me file all the paperwork and pay the fee in person at their headquarters, which is to Broadway, meaning the very start of Broadway, the very tip of Manhattan. So, if you have to go there, schedule accordingly. Um, they also said they were going to shut this stop down from the bus route for the night and have the buses stop further up so we could block off the whole area. And they did not do that. So my producer brain was internally panicking about safety, but our AD, Caitlin Wells, kept us safe. So we open on this location beautifully lit by gaffer Ryan Hamlin, half of the team that is best of both media and best of both tech, alongside DP Aaron Trout. I love the score there with the children's instrument sounds by the wonderful Aviva J, who also plays the harp. And we've got two of our actors here, the lovely Chantel Moses and adorable Chloe Harper Smith. And if you rewind, there's me in the reflection. Rookie mistake. So this was a 1-day shoot, and I believe we had about 5 active hours of filming because of child labor restrictions. Plus, I couldn't afford to finance another night at the bus stop. Um, Plus, right after dinner, as soon as we walked over to set, Chloe turned to me and her mom and was like, "I'm tired. I want to go home." And I thought I was really chill in that moment, but Erin said she saw terror in my eyes. Um, that summer, AD Caitlin Wells and I had been talking a lot about how before the pandemic, everything in the arts operated under this, the show must go on kind of model, kind of mentality, and how now the pandemic kind of taught us that that's not cool, that we didn't want to make art that way anymore, and that humans should come first. So to respect that, to respect Chloe's sleepiness, we triaged the shot list, and Aaron got the bare minimum needed to tell the story. And I spent pretty much the entire film squatting in front of Chloe, directing her. I saw the monitor maybe like twice, and that could have been a big mistake, but thankfully I trust Aaron, and we'd done a lot of prep before with storyboards, and even she photographed some of her own. And I'll insert those if I can find them. But in the future, working with kids, I'd probably plan to have one person exclusively directing the actor and another person directing the camera, um, and to avoid filming at bedtime if possible. Uh, so here we have our third actor, Maddie Mariposa. I think the casting of Chloe and Maddie really illustrates how when something is meant to be, it'll kind of just work out. Like it may still be difficult, like securing the location with MTA, but you won't have to force anything. So I used to work with Chloe's older brother on Zoom, and Chloe would always sneak in the background trying to be on camera. So when I was casting, I thought I didn't know any kids her age, but then I was like, oh, that little girl in the background of the Zoom calls. Um, But the thing was, it's a pandemic. I'd never seen Chloe or met her mother in person, only online. Um, and then one totally random afternoon, I was in Target getting curtain rods, and I see these two little girls with this woman, and hear the woman call one of the little girls Chloe. And I'm like, oh, I think that's the name of the little girl from Zoom, but I don't really think anything of it. Um, then I'm at the checkout, and what do you know? They're behind me. Um, so I look, I'm like, this is definitely the little girl from Zoom. So I turn to the woman, and I'm just like, excuse me, ma'am. You've never met me, but I work with your son. And would your daughter, you've never met me in person. I've met her before. Um, would your daughter like to be in a film? And her mom was so cool. She's like, yeah, send me the info. They do commercials, so they already have their papers and everything. So that was totally fate, right? And obviously, Chloe went on to totally crush this role with her adorableness and charm. So Maddie here was an emergency casting, actually. The original actor dropped out like a week before because they got double booked with New York Theater Workshop, which I get. Um, but I was terrified that after all that work that went into securing the location, we'd have to scrap everything and also lose that money. So I sent an SOS out to my actor friends, and someone mentioned Maddie's name. I reached out, and Maddie was like, yeah. And then we were graced on set with the sweetest human. So it ended up perfect that we got two or three New Yorkers to perform this New York moment. I'd known Chantel before from doing readings at Classical Theater of Harlem, and all three of them were pals by the end of the night, discussing their love of bacon, egg, and cheese. This little silver purse I bought in high school. And 100,000 points to Aaron for suggesting we grab this moment in slow motion. I didn't tell Chloe to do that. That way, she was just really into character. She did a great job. This puddle shot was supposed to be her jumping into like a rainbow swirl, like when gasoline is on the street. But obviously, we couldn't pour gasoline on the street. So we tried to make the same effect with soap, which didn't work. Um, but what Ryan ended up doing was setting the tubes to a rainbow effect so we could get some color in the water there. And you can see the rainbow reflection of the tubes in the boots and also in the bubbles from the soap. And that's it. Some dudes doing pull ups in the park behind. I really love ending on a long take for credits. Kind of like the story doesn't end. And we say thank you to New York Foundation for the Arts for the finishing funds.